Are we live?
What?
Hey, everybody. What's going on?
We are live. Hey, everybody. Let's see. We got here Unpaged Explorer, Trail Medic, Michael Peterson of newsbreak.com.
Of Newsbreak. What do you mean?
All right.
He must have a stake in that. He's trying to get us to join awful bad,
he's
isn't
probably
he?
an early investor.
Use my link because you use my. It's probably like a pyramid scheme, knowing him.
Right. It's not really a pyramid, guys. All right. So anyway, hey, welcome, everybody. We have a great show tonight. We have a special guest, and we're going to talk a little bit about. I want to make a little bit of an announcement here. So we have decided on. I'm getting there.
Come on, spit it out.
We have decided on the dates for the fall meetup.
Ooh.
Or I should say, I have decided on the dates for the fall meetup.
No, I told you last night when you could have it.
No, you didn't. And the dates will be. The dates will be October 21st through the 23rd. Now that is the same weekend as the Hoosier Hang, but I'm not going to the Hoosier Hang. I'm going to have a meetup. So sorry. That's when it's going to be October 21st to the 23rd. We hope everybody can make it. We are going to have a lot more fun than last time, aren't we?
Is that possible?
We got some great things planned.
Yes.
We got some games. We've got some. We got all the technical bugs worked out. I don't think we're going to do a live stream from it, but we've got some cool stuff coming. So
I didn't think that was the hardest thing to do. The live stream. It was
the movie,
getting the projector to work with the.
Yeah, I got all that figured out. We got it.
Yeah,
it's going to be fun. So Brian, do you want to talk about and introduce our guest that's coming?
Okay, so our guest we have tonight, if you guys don't know already, is Tanya Browning. She has a little YouTube channel going on. She's had one a couple years now. It was great. Finally got to meet her in person at the meetup. She's been following me, and I've been following her for a couple of years now. That's what made those meetups great. It's like you get to meet this person every time I'm in a live stream. I see her. We're like, hey, how you doing? You know, and you finally get to meet this person. Hello, and wind it up. Anyways, I don't know. It was great. Excited to have her on. For you guys that were there, you've seen her video that she submitted for the first and worst, whatever.
Yeah.
First worst, maybe it was her first, maybe it was her worst as far as technical, but I think the story behind it. Yeah, the story behind it, it was very inspirational. And I think you guys that were there, like I said, saw that and would probably agree with me. So that's why I was talking to Chris. I said, hey, we should have her on because her channel right now has 180 subs. And I demand everybody that's watched to go get her at least over 200. Let's go subscribe to her. She does some really great videos, has been to some really cool places. So I think it's time you guys get to meet her.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and welcome! Yay!
There she is. Hello, Tanya.
So to the park.
Good to be here.
Giving you the big introduction for everybody who may not know you, but it'll be the same tonight. Should be the same as like when we have guests on. I've got my kind of generic questions. Gosh, this mic is right in my way, Chris. Got my generic questions, but also questions where I try to do research. I try to go and delve into your channel and learn a little more about you than I didn't know. But first off, I was telling everybody, it was great to finally meet you in person at the meetup. Like I said, we've said every time I see you in a live stream, hey, Tanya, hi, Brian, you know, and it's like, that's what's great about those things. You meet somebody in person.
Yes.
So
you feel like you know everybody.
Right.
You'll probably know everybody in the chat. So that's
And then you meet like I thought I knew Michael Peterson, and then it's like, wow, you meet in person, like, wow, he really is that short. So I mean, it's cool. You really get to know somebody.
No, he's not that short. Hooks are short. He's not.
Right. I got to pick on Mike. I love him to death. Hoot says hi. So.
Hey, Hoot.
You got anything, Chris, before we jump into this?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You talk.
I'm done talking. I'm out of stuff.
No, so you ask your little questions.
My little questions. So I guess the first one is, how long have you been in just enjoying the outdoors? Has it been something as a little kid or new as an adult like some of us? Or what kind of gets you or got you into the outdoors?
Well, it was definitely as a kid. I grew up out in the country. The woods are all around me. The trail. We had creeks that we played in as kids. We'd go out and explore the woods all day until it got dark, or we heard them calling for dinner.
Right.
And so I always had that sense of adventure and sense to find something, new out there. And then life kind of gets in the way and you forget about that and you get busy. And
Yeah.
So I didn't pick it back up again until maybe 5 years ago. So I took a very long sabbatical from hiking or really anything outdoors.
So how long have you been creating content on YouTube?
It's been 4 years. I had been hiking a little bit before I was making content. I was watching a lot of YouTube creators. So, people like Dixie and Darwin and Chris.
Chris, who? Me?
Oh, yeah. Or Stanley.
Stanley Ipkiss.
Yeah. But yeah, so I watched you guys first and I decided, hey, I could try this. And I liked it.
Right.
Wait, you watched me and you still decided to take it back up? That's amazing.
Yeah. It is a miracle.
No, she just like, if he can do it, I can definitely do it.
Right. Well, that's really my point, though.
There might have been an element of that.
Right. He can do it. I can do it. Anybody can do it. I mean, you hold a camera and say, hey, this is what I'm doing now. And now I'm over here. And this is what I'm doing now. So, all right. So, you've been to some really cool places and some really interesting places. What are some of your favorite places that you've been backpacking? Or even just day hiking?
Well, I'll start with day hiking. So my favorite place to day hike is where I started day hiking when I got interested in it again, which is the Mount St. Francis in the Floyd Knobs. It's a very spiritual place. It's beautiful. And it's one of my absolute favorite places to go hike. So if I'm just out for the day, 9 times out of 10, that's what I'm going to pick.
So it's in Floyd Knobs, you said?
Floyd Knobs, yep.
Nice.
Yeah, Mount St. Francis. There's a lot of trails there. They all kind of loop and connect together. So you can hike as little or as much as you want. It's pretty cool.
That's a new one to me. I've never heard of it.
Yeah. It's a hidden treasure. You should check it out.
There's so many of those in Indiana you just never hear until you talk to somebody and they're like, oh yeah, I go here all the time. Wow, never knew that. But so you've got a few videos on the AT. I know you've been to like Max Patch and you did that, what was it, a day hike up to Carver's Gap and that. Where at? Yeah. I know you got a couple. Where are some of the places you have been on the AT?
Well, where I was supposed to do, it was a big, like a 30-mile stretch over a week. We were supposed to go we were supposed to do like the Rowan Highland section. And it went wrong on the first day, like so many adventures that I've been on, it seems like. And so we skipped around is what we did. We just kind of got in our cars and went to the next spot we wanted to go to. So we did Carver's Gap, the beauty spot, which was indeed beautiful. Max
Where's that
Patch.
I've never heard of that. The beauty spot.
That's where we started at, was the beauty spot. And then we were hiking north through the Rowan Highlands. So it's not far from the Rowan Highlands, just south of it.
Gotcha. And then you said you went up to Max Patch from there?
Yeah, we went, let's see, where did we go? We went to Carver's to Max Patch. And so that kind of summed up that part of the trip. And then I've done
camp on Max Patch, or did you just go up to it?
At that time you could. Right after we got back from that trip, they closed camping up there. But we stayed, my first night on the AT was just like 2 or 3 miles down from Max Patch.
Nice. Max Patch is awesome. I don't know, in a way, I hope they don't open it back up to camping just to keep from happening what did happen with all the trash and the overuse, because I did go up there before they banned the camping and got to camp up there one night, and there was a lot of partying going on even when I was up there, and it's just, I don't know,
Yeah.
they ruin it. So
Yes, they do.
yeah. So I want to talk about at the meetup, we all showed, our first, worst, whatever, or just a video that we wanted to show. And your video, I loved it because it's inspirational. I mean, we've all been there hiking a trail or something. It's like, I can't do this. This is too hard. What am I doing? And I think you captured that really well. It's very inspirational. So your video was on the Knobstone, and that was your first overnighter, correct?
Yep. All by myself.
I guess if you're going to be a bear, be a grizzly, right? Let me say, I'm going to go to my
Right.
first overnight trip. Let's just pick the hardest trail in Indiana. Why not?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about that video, like what you're feeling and just kind of all of your challenges on that hike?
Sure. So I am very much a planner. So before I had even stepped foot, I had already researched the trail a lot. I only live maybe 10 minutes from the southern terminus of the Knobstone.
Really? Okay.
Yes. And that was the first time I've been on the Knobstone, was my first overnight. So I also followed Brian Riddle. And so I had talked to him about a section of the trail, like what would be a good overnight. And that was one of them we had talked about, was the Spurgeon Hollow Loop. Yeah. And so after some researching and stuff, that's what I decided to do. I would be there by the lake. There was supposed to be a creek somewhere that I never got to. And so it seemed like a good trip. I was going to be able to do a loop, which seemed pretty perfect for me. So it took me about a year to get all my gear together. Actually, I just took my time and did a lot of research. I only have so much money that I could spend, but I didn't want to have a heavy pack. So every month I would just get something else until I was ready. And once I had all that together, I had my plan where I was going to go, and I went. I showed up and things didn't go the way they were supposed to.
What was your first obstacle that you had to overcome? I can't remember. Was it the heat?
It was very hot. It was one of the hottest days of the year, I believe I picked. So I had that going for me.
But also
definitely
the direction you went. The direction you went. There's a very big hill. You start off. I mean, you couldn't have went the worst.
Like within a quarter of a mile. It's just within a quarter of a mile, I think, is where it starts. And it's a massive hill. And one of the biggest blowdowns I've ever had to get across, probably still to date, was on that hill. So
really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Chris wouldn't know anything about that hill because I can't get him to go out there and do it. But
I'll get there.
I had thought he had been out there, but maybe it was Tecumseh.
Yeah, I attempted the Knobstone with a buddy of mine. We got about 10 miles, the first 10 miles in, but we didn't. And I got past Round Knob, but no, I've not.
I haven't got to Round Knob yet.
You haven't. I've done Tecumseh. I've done Adventure Hiking Trail. I've done Adena Trace. I haven't done the Knobstone, so not yet.
We got to get you out there because I did the Spurgeon Hollow Loop early, I guess late winter, early this year, however you want to figure, just as a training hike for the AT. And that's the one spot I hadn't done. I've done from the southern to the northern terminus, but I hadn't done that loop at the top. And I did that this year. And I was like, man, this is just as much of a butt kicker as any other part of the Knobstone. It's like this trail, that trail does not quit. If anybody hasn't been out there, go try it if you want your butt kicked. It's when I heard that was your very first overnight back, I'm like, go get it. It's ridiculous.
If I had known about that camp that's 3 miles in from the southern terminus, I would have absolutely went there and came back out. That would have been a good first overnighter.
Yeah, definitely. I think you could do the Spurgeon Hollow I think that's a really good overnight loop. But
yes,
it's still
not on the hottest day of the year.
No, it's a butt kicker. When I did it, when I did the through hike of it, I did it in April, so I think it only got in the 60s. So I had pretty cool temps. I can't imagine doing that trail or any part of it in the summertime. So yeah.
So you but that hill wasn't even the worst of it, right? I mean, you got to the point where you just physically were spent, right?
Yeah, I eventually got up and over the hill and down the trail. And I remember looking at the sign that tells you, okay, this way is Delaney, and then this way is the Spurgeon Hollow. And
Mhm.
I looked at that sign, looked where the trail, where I know it is now, looked right at it and could not find the trail. Like, I don't know. I was completely blind to it and did not see it and just kept on going. So
Okay.
I missed my turn. And
Happens to everybody.
yes, it happens to me a lot.
Me too.
So
When I took the wrong turn on that loop, I was glad I did it after I did it, because I was like, I just cut 2 miles off this trip. Sweet.
sometimes it's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is like the Low Gap Trail in Morgan Monroe State Forest. It's 10 miles and it's a loop trail. And one of the first times that I did that trail, it's really hard to get lost on that trail, but I did. I ended up doing 13 miles on a 10-mile loop trail because I went off the spur and out a mile and a half out before I realized, and I had to hike a mile and a half back. But yeah, I mean,
And that's why
it
you
happens
don't get
to
to
everybody.
lead anymore.
That's why I don't get to navigate. Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So besides
So,
the
yeah.
heat and the extreme hills and it being your
Yeah.
first time, anything else
Yeah.
that was just like, what any other challenges besides that? I mean, not that that's not a ton, but
Um, well, I think for me, it was just dealing with the mental aspect of knowing that I'm hot, I'm tired. I made, I've made, or I didn't make the turn I needed to make. Now I'm several miles down past where I'm supposed to be, and I was just spent. So
Yep.
at that point, it was kind of like a breakdown. Do I go to the park ranger, station and see if I can get a ride to my car? Do I try and get a hold of my husband and see if he can come get me? Like, I was just thinking I need to quit and get out of here as quickly as possible, because I have definitely failed, is how I felt at that moment.
And what turned it
When I
around
got
for
to
you?
Delaney Trailhead, it beat me up.
But what turned it around for you? Because as I remember in the video, you made the decision to press on, right?
Yeah. At that point, I quit recording, and I thought, my car is just a few miles back. At worst, I'll go back to my car, and I've done a day hike.
Mhm.
And as I went back to the car, I kind of went back and forth, still not really sure what I was going to do. There was a chance I may stay on the trail if I found the right spot, but every step I got a little closer, the more and more I felt like I needed to stick it out and do what I had intended to do, which was spend the night on the Knobstone Trail for my first night.
Yeah.
And I did that. I found a spot and hunkered down for the night.
Well, bravo. Yeah. It's and really that in a nutshell is one of the best things about hiking is that is getting yourself out of a problem or working up the mental toughness, right? Because it is 90% of it is mental. And I have been in so many situations. Well, Brian and I have been in so many situations where we're like, we're going to ride this storm out, literally and figuratively. And your mental faculties kick in, and so that's what was so inspirational to me about it, is because you could have given in, but you didn't. You like persevered through it.
Yeah. Well, and it had been something I'd been preparing for a year. With every purchase, I was looking forward to this moment, and I didn't want to have to chalk it up as a fail or that I couldn't do it, because it was something that I desperately wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I had to persevere. And so I did. And then, and I wanted to show, I put that in the video. I mean, at one point I thought, well, I'm not even going to, at this point, I'm not making a video. No one needs to know that this didn't work out.
I've been there too.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I thought, well, there's plenty of people out there who are just like me. They're trying to figure it out. They're just starting, and maybe this will give them the courage to get out and do it. Even if it doesn't go the way you had expected it to, it's still a win.
Agreed. Yeah. You know, it's funny. I've almost quit YouTube so many times. So many. I've taken breaks, obviously, but I've almost quit YouTube. And it never fails. The day I decide to just delete my channel, I'll get an email from somebody that says, "Hey man, I saw your video and you've inspired me to get out and I'm a big guy too, and you've inspired me to get off the couch." And I'm like, the feelings can't quit now. Let's continue.
Never quit anything on a bad day.
But
yes,
but
absolutely.
I enjoy the fact
I think of that a lot, Brian, when I'm out there. Because that's not the last time things didn't go its way. Almost every backpacking trip I've been on, something has gone awry. On my last trip with my friend Susie at Dolly Sods, we both felt like complete rookies on that. On that particular trip, it seemed like either we forgot something or, we went the wrong way or, we felt like rookies.
But the thing was, when I watched that video of your Dolly Sods, I was like, yes. I mean, she does the research. She knows what to do in situations like you. I was like prepared. And a lot of people, that's how they get themselves in trouble. Don't prepared. Those river crossings.
Yeah.
Could you have made it? Could you not? Who knows? Is it worth risking your life over to get to the other? Absolutely not. I mean, you hear about people in the Sierra Nevada, doing the PCT every year. People die because they get impatient. They don't want, like what you did was textbook perfect, where you thought, we can't cross today. Let's camp here and see if the river goes down overnight. I mean, that's exactly what they do on the PCT. A lot of times they come up to a high river crossing when the snow's been melting all day. They let it all freeze up. It slows down. They cross in the morning and you live another day. I was like really proud of you for making that, because that's a hard decision. I'm like, that's hard because you want to go, you want to get to your destination, but it's hard to call it. And I was like, good on you for being prepared and smart enough that trail is not worth your life. And so,
neither one of us were excited about crossing that river, or that it was a creek. I mean, it seemed like a river, but it's a creek. And there was no way. I mean, maybe a split second, I might have thought we could maybe, take our air mattress and blow it up, make it across maybe. But no, seriously, no, there was no way.
That's like when Chris and I was on the Tecumseh was last year now, wasn't it? And we had that huge storm in. I mean, I think we were still so rattled from what we went through. I've never been outside in a storm that bad, let alone have to ride it out of my hammock and lightning hitting trees less than 100 feet from us and falling.
Piece of fabric.
It was, that is the one and only time I will admit I was scared. Like, I was like, are we going to get through this? Tornado warnings go off. And then the next morning we hike a quarter mile and get to that first crossing. And I'm like, can we make it? Can we not? Maybe what if Chris would have made it and he'd been on the other side? Says, come on, I made it. And I go, and then I fall and drown or something. It's just not worth it.
It's not.
There'll probably be a couple miles right there in the middle of the Tecumseh Trail that I'll probably never hike, because I'm not going back to hike 18 miles to knock out 2 or 3. But I'm fine with that. I can go hike other trails. So I totally get it. So anyways, that was a great video. I loved it. I thought it was it was very inspirational, So
I can't wait to go back. It was a lot of fun.
So since we're still kind of talking about the Knobstone, how much of it have you completed? Is that the only section you've done, or have you done any section hikes on that?
I haven't done a lot, actually. I've done the first 7 miles from the southern terminus, to the Jackson Trailhead, I believe is what that next trailhead. Yeah. So I've done up to that point. I took my daughter out on her first overnight on that trip. So both of our first nights were on the Knobstone. Hers was much easier than mine. And then I've done the other loop at the northern end. So the Delaney Park loop, it's like 5 miles. I've done that. I need to go back and finish the Spurgeon Hollow. I haven't finished it.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I might be talked into that at some point.
Yeah?
I don't know. Yeah.
If you do the cut across I accidentally took, it's only 9 miles. I mean, you can put up
Yeah.
with hard hills
And
for 9
that
miles.
was my plan, was
Yeah.
to do just the Spurgeon Hollow, like just the 8 or 9 miles it is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That was my
See,
plan.
when I did
So
do the whole loop, I was going to do the 11 miles, and I just turned the wrong way. I thought I went the right way. I misread the sign, and I got going. I'm like, looked at all trails to see where I was at. I was like, where am I at now? I was like, I see what I did. Oh well.
you
What am I going
turned
to do?
where
Go
I
back?
was supposed to turn, and I kept going
Yeah.
straight where you were supposed to go straight.
Right. I'm like, what am I going to do? Go back so I can add? No, I'm going with it now. It was cold. It was like 16 degrees that day. I'm like, I just want to get back to my truck. All right.
Maybe we'll have to plan that.
Yeah,
Finishing
definitely.
that
I
loop.
would when it cools down.
Yes.
I'm game when it cools
Not
down.
on the
I'm not
hottest
hiking that
day.
Right.
No.
No.
I think we can get Chris out there. And there's a couple good campsites that I've seen. So we'll have to do that.
Yeah.
So any plans to hike the Adventure Hiking Trail or the Tecumseh, some of the other bigger trails for Indiana?
Yeah. I would love to do the Adventure Hiking Trail this year.
Mhm.
That would be something high on my list for sure. So I'm wanting to stay more local. The last couple of years, I've done some trips that were out of Indiana, and I'd like to come back and focus on this area more. So definitely the Adventure Hiking Trail is on that list. I'm going to take my daughter out to 2 lake loops.
Mhm.
2 lake
Mhm.
loop.
Yep.
That'll be a good one for us to do together, I think.
Yeah,
so
I've done
that's
that one.
on the list for the year.
That one's not too bad. It's got a couple of little hills on it, but it's a big trail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice trail.
Yeah. It'd be nice I like to camp by water. I just like water.
I do
but
too.
I also like the trees and all of that. So, so that one looks like fun for us.
I think that's
cool.
the draw for the Peninsula Trail, unfortunately, for everybody and their brother. But that's you can't beat that spot. Let's see. So Pickox, I was going to bring this up because I've been, you've been, and the first I remember actually speaking to you, like I said before, is I had just finished Picture Rocks trip, and you'd seen my video and started asking me about it and everything. What did you think of about that? Because I mean, it seems like everybody's done that trip now except for Chris. But
got to get Chris up there.
Right?
I haven't even been to Michigan.
You did the whole thing from end to end, correct? The 42.5 miles or so.
Yes. Yeah, we did the whole thing. I took my daughter Emily with me. That's why she did the Knobstone Trail trip with me, was to prepare her to make sure she was going to be ready and that she would want to do that with me. So she went from 7 miles on the Knobstone to 42 miles at Pictured Rocks. And we had a blast.
If you figure in the elevation on the Knobstone, that's about equal.
Yeah. That's probably right.
I can't explain to people, like, so we're going with hooks and hammocks this year, and we're just going to do from the Grand Sable Visitor Center to Miners Castle. It's like 35 miles. We're talking to him the other day.
That's the
and
best section.
After that, the last 8 miles, it's just woods walking. It's pretty, but you've seen everything that you need to see there. But I can't explain to him. I was like, you will not believe how flat it is. It's the flattest trail I've ever hiked in my life. I said, you'll have one big hill, and that's at the very end going up to Miners Castle. It's just, do you think that too? It's like, you just keep walking, you're waiting for a hill or a little roll or something. No, it's like parking lot flat the whole way.
Well, and I didn't have a warning about that hill. I was just told it was flat. So, and I even looked at, the maps and stuff, and it didn't look that intimidating on, on the elevation, but that hill was big. But the rest of it is flat. So I was okay with that.
That's the craziest trail because it is beautiful. There's all kinds of great sights in that.
I loved being by the water. If I had to get away from the water for too long, I got irritable. I couldn't do it. I needed to hurry up and get back to the water.
Yeah. Did you see any bear up there?
No. We saw several chipmunks. Tried stealing our crackers.
That's what they do.
Yep.
Yeah.
We
An
didn't have
angry
that.
squirrel that was yelling at us from a tree.
We had one bear walk through our camp early morning on the first morning, our first overnight, I guess. So second day. That was interesting, but
So how was it hard changing your shorts? I'm just
made a mess in my hammock, man.
I
remember
okay.
I remember laying there and it was just barely daylight and you could hear it, that they make a distinct sound. And I was like, oh man, that's a bear. And the way Paige and I set our hammocks up was we put our head end at two separate trees and they weren't too far apart from each other. And our feet were at the same tree. So it was like a triangle. So when we got our hammocks, we're basically laying side by side. So I'm just laying there and all right, just keep on trucking, bear. And he went on, and finally I thought, okay, she didn't wake up. She didn't hear it. And all of a sudden she's like, honey, yeah, is that a bear? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh my gosh. Bear coming through camp is the last thing you want. But I mean, they're up there. So another great place you've been to, and you have a video on it, it's in Highlands. That's a place I tried to go, and when we were going to go do it, we went Max Patch and a couple other places. They had all camping shut down when we went. So to do the whole thing, it was like a 17-mile something day, and that's pretty terrain too. And my wife was just like, I'm not up for 17 miles in that. How did you do? Did you do per day hike it, or how did you do that?
Well, we had decided to do the Pine Mountain Trail. It's the smaller loop. And we were going to do it in, I think, 3 days. However, and it was beautiful. We saw ponies right away. It was awesome. I had never seen anything like that. The terrain was rough, but it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. But unfortunately, on our first night at camp, one of the girls I was with, she was hanging her bear bag and tripped over a rock and broke her elbow at camp. Yeah. So trip canceled. There's no signal up there at all. We had to go around and wake everybody up to see if anybody had a Garmin or something, because unfortunately we did not have one with us. And we found someone who did and was able to get a call out to get someone to come in and help. So her elbow was shattered and had to have surgery that night.
It happens that quick. You never know.
Yes.
Doing something simple like hanging your bear bag.
In my hammock. Yeah.
Good grief.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna call out to all the people in the chat right now. Start getting your questions. If you guys have any questions you'd like to ask Tanya, start putting them in here now before we get toward the end of the interview. And anything that I've missed, anything you want to know, make sure you guys are going over, even leave a live stream for a minute. Go over, subscribe to her channel. Let's get her over 200 tonight. She deserves it. She's got a lot of great. What are you going to show? Go ahead.
Can I talk now?
Go ahead.
Let me show her channel, and then we can talk about the other thing that she does.
Yes.
Okay. Let me 1 second. I'm going to share my screen here. And so this is her channel. You can see that she has a lot of videos, and this number should be higher. This particular number right here needs to be a little higher. So I am also demanding that everybody, if you're not already subbed to her, go out and search her up. Just Tanya Browning, right?
Yeah.
Search it up. Go get the link. Then copy the link to her channel, and then go on your community tab and put her channel on your community tab and drive some traffic here. Right?
Hold on, maybe see if I can do this. There, make it even easier. Okay.
You're putting it in the. Oh, there we go. See,
there we go.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go sub to her, and then we will ask her about the other thing, and then I'll share it.
Okay, so you have an Etsy shop, correct?
I do.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you want to go ahead and give out the name of your Etsy shop and what you sell in your Etsy shop?
Absolutely. So it is the Water Maple Soap Company, and I make homemade artisan vegan soap and other body products. My daughter's vegan, so it was important that my stuff was also vegan.
This stuff looks
And
like you could eat it.
so
Easy,
yeah, some of
Chris.
it. I have some new stuff sitting on my rack over here, curing, and I want to put a straw in it and drink it.
Right.
But that would be unsafe. So
Yeah, this looks
I
great.
do. Yeah, it's great stuff. I use it. I have a wax melt here right now, melting next to me, and it smells amazing.
What would you recommend for the discriminating husky gentleman? I'm asking for a friend.
Well,
if he wanted to get clean,
A shower
I
for
think
starts. I mean,
I have several things. Right there's the Stormy Sea that smells amazing. It's a great aquatic scent for the masculine type.
wow. Okay.
And then I'm currently out, but I have some on my rack over here to be ready here in a few weeks. It's the Woodland Coffee, and the people at my work, we all jokingly call it the sexy Italian. But it's like woodsy, but it's also coffee, and it smells amazing.
I may
and then I've
order.
got another.
I may order some of this, and this I'm kind of this patchouli sunrise.
That is one of my favorites in everything. I have a wax melt of the patchouli sunrise sitting at my desk at work, and when I get stressed out, I just sniff my wax melt.
Nice.
It's a great stress reliever.
I would have it all day long, sniffing
This
it
is
at
awesome.
my job.
Some days
Yeah.
I do.
I tell you what, let me do this too. Let me go
Can you
ahead
get
and
the
put
link
that
in
in
there?
there. Yeah. You guys can go buy you some soap. I know some of the smelly people in this chat could use some.
Everybody
There you go.
deserves to spoil themselves a little bit.
Right. Just spoil yourself, girl.
Just spoil yourself and your loved ones.
That's right.
And
Cool.
the
See the
stinky
cool
person
things.
in your life.
The cool things you find out about people, when
I
you
know.
finally get to meet them in person and talk instead of like, hi, in the live streams. One thing I did forget to ask you about too. I talked to you about this too. I heard you say something about a mission trip
Yep.
at the meetup and everything. I think mission trips are cool. I had thought about, who knows, finding time somehow, some way in my life these days to do something like that. So you said you've been on one?
I've
mission trip?
been back to the same place
Okay.
several times, and I've led one there too.
Wow.
So it's the Navajo Christian Foundation in Dilcon, Arizona. And so it's been we started going maybe about 10 years ago. And
Mhm.
we've been back several times since then. But, there's not a lot of industry or anything out there on the reservation for them. So, with that comes a lot of alcoholism and abuse and just all kinds of issues that come along with that. And so NCF is what it is short. They have a children's home and a big blue gym. And the big blue gym is where everything happens in this town. It's kind of like the kids' safe haven. They can come play basketball, volleyball, do Bible study. They can, they have a gym so older kids can come and work out. And,
That's awesome.
Yeah, good on you. That's awesome to volunteer your time and efforts to help others less fortunate. Who's your outdoors CCs? Maybe Tanya and Atai can get together and make smell good hammocks.
Yeah. Are you
Did
still
we
with
lose her?
When you're frozen? Are you still with us?
Oh no!
Did we lose her? Just when I was getting
Possibly.
ready to show a question.
Go ahead,
Tanya,
I'll answer.
There you are. Okay.
She's trying. Come on, internet, you can do this.
Here's the question from John. We can't hear you, but of course something had technical,
It's, I mean, hang in there. You're coming back.
You're coming back. We believe in you.
There she is. Oh, you moved. You know how it is with us. If we get together, we're going to have technical issues. We're going to have rain. And what is it doing tonight? Yeah. Technical issues.
You're moving. No. If you just try to come back.
She'll be back.
Anyway, so this is a good time to talk about our sponsor. No.
We got one of those?
No, but I do have something to show while we're waiting on her to come back.
Okay.
Peak Refuel came out with a new flavor, and it is the cheesy chicken and broccoli. It's brand new, and I'm dying to try it. And I will be, if I can ever get a weekend that doesn't rain, I'm going to be trying this. And I've heard that it's pretty good. Okay, she's back. Let's bring her back in. There she is.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
That's so just John, part of it when you're dealing with us.
Yeah, we don't pay our dial-up bill. Here's a question from John.
Yep. Oh, yeah, the skillet. That was a find at Kroger, actually.
Was it really?
Yes, it was hanging. They have the things that are just hanging on the aisles, and it was there in the bread aisle. And I thought, wow, that'd be perfect for backpacking.
Interesting.
And so, yeah.
Putting grilled cheese on. I see you do that. I was like,
nice. That grilled cheese was amazing. It's the first time I had used it. I was excited about the grilled cheese. That's my favorite thing ever.
The only thing I thought, man, she could use have you ever seen they sell tongs for like ice buckets?
Yes.
You could have taken you could have had a set of those and,
Yeah. I absolutely needed a better option than my spoon.
but you got a lot of comments on that.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Yeah. And honestly, I don't even remember how much it cost, maybe $10 or something at Kroger. I mean, you never know where you're going to find stuff for.
Now I have to go to Kroger after the show. And
right.
Yeah.
Can you imagine though? I mean, if you're just doing like an overnighter and grilled cheese, throw some ham in there too.
Oh, yes. Well, and I would have never thought about it if it wasn't for Syntax. His wife Sarah makes them for him. I remember seeing him. He had several that he took out on one trip, and I was so jealous. And I thought, I have to make that happen.
A lot of his trips, when they go out, he carries a heavy pack. He just brings what he wants.
Yes, he
does. I'll give it to Syntax. He's never fallen into the whole I have to be ultralight. He packs what he wants, and he doesn't carry a Z pack. He just carries what he wants. So
yeah,
right.
I don't know. I may have to get one of those. I know the best ham and cheese I ever got was on the AT when I did the section this year. We came down to Destiny Gap, and we were going to wait on our shuttles to pick us up because we had severe weather coming in. Imagine it was going to rain, but I didn't even have Chris with me. Well, we decided after like a huge, heavy, windy night that we're just like, let's get off trail for a day. We come down into the Gap, and these guys are just starting to set up Trail Magic, and they've got Dunkin' Donuts and all the fruit and everything. And the guy looks at me and says, "Hey man, I'm going to make some hot ham and cheese. You want one?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. That was breakfast. That was the best.
That would be amazing.
That was the morning of day 5. So I really hadn't had any town food or anything, except the day before at Neil Gap, I had a pizza. So I guess I did, but I don't know. That ham and cheese was just,
You have to get a pizza for Neil's Gap.
Oh yeah. I had a pizza. I had, what else? I ate something else. I had a Dr. Pepper. I had a Monster energy drink. I don't remember what all I ate. It was ridiculous. I think I had a candy bar or something, but
the problem is
when you leave Neil Gap and you can continue on, as soon as you leave Neil Gap, you go uphill for a long ways. So then you got this big full belly and you're just sluggish. And you got to climb this big nasty hill for a couple miles. Yeah. Anyways, grilled Spam and cheese, delicious. I'm a Spam eater, man.
I would do that.
Looks like Jeremy's and he's in for the lavender because
yes,
he likes.
I have a great lavender.
There you go. And it helps with sleep and mosquitoes. And Jeremy's not a bug net guy, so. They were
Have your
saying, somebody
people call my
said,
people.
Hoosier Outdoor said maybe her and ATOC can get together and make a smell good hammock. See, there you go.
Yep.
Infuse your scents into the Cloud 71. As
Yeah.
long as you're not,
Cool.
as long as you're not in
That
bear
would be
country,
awesome.
you know, bear country might not be
Um,
good if you smell like strawberries or something. And
Yeah, we'll stay away from the food scent.
You could call it Lavender Cloud. There it is.
Oh, there you
There
go.
it
TM.
Lavender Cloud. TM. Circle TM. I got it.
perfect. Has anybody
I
got
think we're
any
onto
other
something.
questions for Miss Tanya while we've got her here and have attention?
Yeah. Last call for questions for Tanya. And we really appreciate you coming on here. And we, like I said, it's a crime that you don't have more subs. And I hope people will see this and they will sub to you. And because you do try with your videos, you try harder than I. Like you have B-roll and all that. You have
Yeah, I
pictures.
just, it's funny. I can't go out on the shortest, like 2-mile day hike and not have a 20-minute video for it. I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I mean-
I just love filming.
Here's.
Is Trail
That
Days
would be
2022?
awesome.
Is that even
That
over
would be
yet?
awesome to go
He-
there.
Next year. He's talking about
Next year. Well,
Next
that's what I'm
year,
saying. This
yep.
is this year's even over? I think it's still,
Yeah.
or it may be over by
Yeah.
now. That would be fun.
Yeah,
That would be
that
fun.
would be a lot of fun.
Have you been in Damascus?
No, when we did our AT trip last year,
Mhm.
we had just missed Trail Days. I think was maybe the weekend before we were
Yeah.
there.
I haven't
so
been
yeah,
to Trail Days, but Damascus
Yeah.
is a cool little town.
yeah,
I can't imagine that many
yeah.
people.
We had
there,
so
though.
many things go wrong on that particular trip that we didn't make it. But it would have been a lot of fun to go and hang out.
Yeah. It's just a
Check the
small
town out.
little bit down in the middle of nowhere. And then I don't know how many people they get in there and all those vendors and everything else. It's,
Oh,
I bet that makes their year, like money wise.
it's got to. That 1 week has to make their revenue for the year.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
But I went to the Damascus Damascus diner down there. That was a pretty cool little place. Good food, good times. I like to eat.
looks like a great town.
Michael Peterson, he's got to go Sleepy Town.
Yeah, hey, poor little thing. Okay, before we sign off, I do want to again announce the dates for the fall meetup. The fall meetup will be October 21st through the 23rd. And so put it on your calendars now. I expect a full attendance. Nobody's, my sister's getting married that weekend. None of that. You know well in advance. And this is a more important event than anything else you're going to do this year. Just make sure you guys put that on your calendar. Tanya, do you have any parting words for us? I know we're going a little short, but it seems like Brian ran out of questions. So,
There's just one there I'd like to answer real quick, if it's okay. From
absolutely.
2064. So apps that I use is I use a combination of All Trails and the Hiking Project, because where one may lack, the other one seems to pick up. So I like to go in there and check other people's campsites and their routes. Again, I'm a researcher, so I check all of that. Okay. That's where I found some great campsites that I would have never known that they were there, and I would have stayed somewhere that was not as great on the trail. So those are the two apps that I use. And then I recently started using Gaia. I'm still trying to figure it out, but
Gaia is my favorite out of them all.
Yeah, it seems like a solid app. I'm just trying to learn it.
It's a little more in depth, but once you learn it, I'm learning it, and it's pretty good.
Yeah.
But
no, thank you all for having me.
Absolutely.
Are we going to see you at the October meetup?
I have it on my calendar.
I won't be there, but you guys have fun. No, I'm kidding.
Probably have a better turnout.
Dang. I love this girl. She just rip on you with me. Watch out.
I teach my friends how to treat me. It's okay.
Move over, Michael Peterson. Here comes Tanya with the zingers.
Right.
So
Needler
something I was
Jr.
going to bring up too, Chris and I have talked about this a couple of times, and I don't know if we've really said anything to anybody on our live streams yet, but we've been kicking around the idea and looking at platforms to actually, once we get some more of these live streams up and actually completed, just redacting the audio from them and putting them up in podcast form. So Chris has kind of researched this more. So I was going to just kind of let everybody like, hey, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, to Campfires and Catholes, what's our channel again? If you haven't subscribed to that one thing while we're on, subscribe to that.
Up here. Yeah, I need this number right here to be 100 in order for us to get the platform, the audio platform. So if you could tell your friends and neighbors and your uncles, cousins, we got 86 and we're working on it, but at 100 we will start putting out on audio form. And the only reason for that is because we want to make sure that we have enough people interested and invested in what we're trying to do here in order for us to do that. So if we can get this number to 100, if you guys could share our channel, and that'd be great. And then we'll start putting it out on audio for people to listen to.
That'd be awesome.
Get us to 100, Tanya over 200. I demand it.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it'll be exciting when we get to 100. We get a couple more podcasts, so we can start actually putting up content on that platform, whichever one we choose. So, you even have the name Spotify? Is that small one we're going to go on?
Oh, we're going to go. We're going to submit to them all. We'll submit to iTunes, Spotify, all of them.
I think it'd be cool. We'll actually have to start taking this a little more. No, we're not taking this serious. Never mind. No. I refuse to do that. I always want it to be this: friends, meeting new people, discovering new channels, promoting other channels as well. So,
being the cornerstones of the outdoor community that we are, and I'm just playing. We're not.
Right.
We're not. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Tanya, for coming and enduring these. We appreciate it.
We'll definitely be taking you up this fall on a Spurgeon Hollow overnighter. I think that's got to be in the plans. A little collaboration.
That would be a lot of fun. Yeah. I got to go back and tackle it.
You know what we need to do too, Chris? She's never been to the gorge.
What? Yeah.
We got to get a gorge and show her around. That place will blow your mind too. And it's so close to us. You need to get to
Hanson's Point stat. That's what you need to do. You need to go there.
Yeah.
And
I can't wait.
You could do that in a day hike. That's only 3 miles out, 3 miles back. So, and it's easy terrain. So
it's a spiritual journey, like you said, like Mount Francis is. It
really
is.
Yeah.
It's like going through Narnia.
It really is. Yeah. Okay.
But anyways, thank you so much. Like I said, it was great to meet you, and I appreciate you coming on. And Chris just bailed on us. So
right. Well, thanks for having me.
All right. Take care. We'll see you soon.
All right. Bye.
Bye.